We want to learn how to work with invoice capture solution in this demo. We just click over here and this will open a new page for us where I can see a dashboard is appearing, and this is actually invoice capture solution where all the invoice which is captured will be tracked here, and we have a multiple chat available where you can see invoice with a volume detail, invoice by top vendors, and you can just come down to see some more information about it. So this is a dashboard which is actually a default dashboard. If I want, I can create a new dashboard from here, or else we can go with the same dashboard. And if I want to see in the receipt file page, if we have information which is very important, like we have information about the channel, we have an import channel method, and any invoice that we load it, like that will be in the upload file which we are doing it manually, will have an import channel direct. But if you are getting any invoice that is actually coming from the email or maybe through the API system or the file system, you will be having it that particular names appearing here. Now I'm going to load one of the invoice to see how does it work in a receipt file. I can just drag any of the file invoice here. That can be in the form of PDF, JPG, PNG, and many more. I'm just going to load this PNG file. I'll click on open, and then you can see you have an option to upload 20 files. So I'm just going to load only one of the file and click on OK. And this gives me information that one load is completed and success. I'll close this data now. What you can see that the file name PNG is in the waiting status. I'll click on refresh button to see now from the waiting it has moved to the processing. Again I'll click on refresh to see the next status. So what happens once it is changed to the capture, it will be in the capture invoice page, it will be appearing. We'll click on refresh again to see, and the processing is still there. So this takes some times. Okay, so now you see that the PNG invoice is not appearing in the pending status, but when you click here and come to all the file, what you can see that the PNG file is actually captured. So the capture invoice is appearing in the capture invoice page, and you can see the method was direct. Now once you come here, you can see the file is appearing for you. So you have one of the errors. So any invoice, once it is loaded, it will be moving to the capture invoice page, and this is the invoice number which we have it now, where I can see I have one of the error here and there's no warning, and the vendor name is appearing, invoice date and capture date, total amount is 209. So as an AP clerk, what you do that you go to the invoice and you go and rectify those errors. This is the first step for you. So for me, like, what you can see that we have something called classify invoice. So the classify invoice is the first thing where what we do that we classify the invoice to give the legal entity name, the vendor account, and the invoice type, where you can see that these two fields are not appearing. So which means that I have to manually click on classify invoice and I have to provide the details. So this is how you just go and click the legal entity, click on the vendor account, find it from the list of the vendors, and you also see the invoice type. So invoice type is actually PO invoice. System has automatically captured it, and you also have a cost invoice type and header only invoice. So if there is any invoice which is not with the PO related and it is a cost related invoice, that will system will automatically select the invoice type. But yeah, many of the scenario where you see that even the system automatically reads the legal entity and the vendor name itself. But in case if it is not taken it, what you have to do that you are supposed to reclassify this invoice, or else it throws an error for us. So second thing, once this data is given, you have to just go and see that you have the header details. Now what I was trying to tell that we do a verification. So for verification, what you can do, you can just see some of the lines, not necessarily all the points, but yeah, invoice header details will be appearing for you. The buyer address you can see from here, and the fabricant supplier, the due date, invoice date, all the details. The mandatory field what you can see is appearing here. When you go and see the purchase order and just click on this icon, this says that how it is mapped. So the system, you can see this has been highlighted over here. So this purchase order data has been taken from here. You also have an option where you, if you want and if you feel the mapping is wrong, we can still go ahead and edit it like that. Invoice number, if you see it, the system has captured from here. The same way, like all the mapping is happening here. So after that, you actually can go and check the invoice lines as well, where some of the fields you can cross verify, like you can click on any of the field where item line, the first line is appearing from here. So when you click on this icon, the line from where the data has captured, it will be highlighted here. This is the PNG copy which we have downloaded, and this is what system has tracked the details over here. So once all the review is been done, or maybe click on the also the start review and system identify, all the reviews is done automatically. In fact, some of the review which you feel you can do it manually, just one or two. So once the review is done, and this is invoice will be processed. So this is about the invoice capture. Thank you.